I worked 7 nights, 6 days a week.
Mm.
I do not remember the ages between 2 and 4 for
Mm.
my daughter.
If you're closing out this year exhausted, successful on paper but disconnected in your body, this conversation might stop you in your tracks. Because the cost of moving too fast isn't just burnout, it's missing your life while you're building it.
I will become who I've always been.
Welcome home, inspired entrepreneur. Today's conversation feels especially timely. We're closing out a year where everything has moved faster than most of us were designed to handle. More technology, more pressure, more noise, more expectations. And a lot of founders are ending this year successful on paper, but disconnected in their bodies, their relationships, and themselves. This episode is about what it really means to complete a year, not just financially or strategically, but as a human being. My guest today is Leslie Valmonte. Leslie is a systems strategist and the founder of Bridge 5D. She works at the intersection of technology, leadership, and human centered design, helping founders and organizations build systems that actually support the people inside them, not just the output. In this conversation, Leslie and I ask the kind of questions that slow you down just enough to see clearly, to think strategically, and to design businesses that don't break the humans running them. This is not a conversation about doing more. It's a conversation about who you're being while you build it. Let's dig in. This episode is about the end of the year, what to do and who to be to complete your year in a way that there's nothing left over. You have a blank canvas to create your next year, living your life intentionally versus reaction mode. What have you witnessed is the cost of moving too fast?
When we move so fast, the cost is just the status quo because you're too busy to do anything else other than compliance, other than what you know, other than what makes you comfortable. Our brain is wired for our safety. When we do something outside of the box, it triggers that red flag of like, whoa, 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 like, what are we doing? Which can be good. We always need like that 10% of risk because then we know, like, okay, well, we're doing something different. That's the value add. But when we're going so fast for so long, we almost become robots moving through life. That defeats the purpose of life and experience. At the very worst, when we don't have that moment to pause, we can break or compromise our bodies because you're going so fast. I did that for so long. When I first started consulting in 2012, I thought the perfect example of a consultant was someone that dressed a certain way. I worked 7 nights, 6 days a week.
Mm.
I had a 2-year-old. I do not remember the ages between 2 and 4 for
Mm.
my daughter. My income may have tripled at that time, but if you count by the hours I was working, it wasn't worth it. Honestly feel like I gave myself lupus.
Mm.
I've been managing lupus as an autoimmune disease. I like to say I dance with it.
Mm.
Sometimes it leads, sometimes I lead. For the past 12 years, I had to start focusing on my health. And the scary moment is when I couldn't even braid my daughter's hair
Mm.
because it hurt so much. That's why I say like a high speed sports car and you're full on the gas pedal, but you're also full on the brakes. And you can only do that for so long. I realize it's not worth it. I don't ever want to do that again. So that started my journey. What does balanced success look like? What does success look like?
Leslie, I had no idea that you went through that. I was a consultant too. I know what life is like as a consultant. 39 boarding
Yes.
passes 1 year. I just knew I couldn't go back to that life. I didn't want to lose years with my son. We're talking about reset, intentional pausing. We need pauses to connect with people we love. get regrounded in our body. We think success looks like the income, that huge house and that car, but at what expense?
Our soul, our bodies, our minds, our brain. No one teaches us that.
What that does to our
Yeah.
nervous system.
And our social dynamics. Just put away your phone. I mean, I catch me and my family, we don't have dinner at the same time because of high school activities and different working hours. How often do we actually get to sit together and talk? When can I catch up? Put away your phone.
We have a rule at my house. He doesn't get his phone at the table. I try and protect that time. That is sacred time for us. When he sits in the car, let's put that away for the 15-minute ride home. We don't even have to talk. Sometimes I just grab his hand, he grabs it back, and it's that human connection that regulates our nervous system.
Yes, I think it's like 16 seconds before you get a oxytocin hit from a hug. I'm gonna hug
Yeah,
you for 16 seconds. I want them to feel the love.
we're energetic beings. We need each other. That's that mind body connection, and it plays into our performance.
Have you found that since you've taken on this more reflective, balanced, slower cadence in your life, you have become bolder and more innovative?
Yes, Leslie, this year I've done two huge things. I launched my podcast and my group coaching program that had I not slowed down, prioritized, would not have been possible. It's about being intentional. What are the things that are going to move my life and my business forward this year, this month, this week, and allow the busy stuff to go by the wayside? That takes intentionality. So, how do you be intentional? You have to slow down. Otherwise, we're busy all the time, but we don't have tangible, big results.
Yeah. Let's say that someone is chasing you. You're in that fight or flight mode. Your brain, your body, it's all about survival. And so you're running. But as you're running, you don't even notice what's happening around you.
Yeah.
I liken that to entrepreneurs. Maybe they feel like they're behind. Maybe they feel like they have to get ahead of the pack. And what that does when it comes to innovation is that I don't notice what the consumers need, what my impact is, and if I should be shifting, if I should be deepening connection with my clients, my customers. It wasn't until I understood I needed to slow down, look around, and look within that I was able to be truly successful.
If we use the pause as a leadership tool, how do you think that's going to change how we design business?
As leaders, if we pause more, it's not that hard to jump from being reflective to being strategic. You're hearing through the noise, you're looking for something that resonates, and then you're able to innovate after that. I think of strategy as a four-parter. One is looking at the systems, understanding how the systems work. The second one is being compassionate, which is a little bit different from empathy. I'm not only going to step into your shoes to feel what my client needs. I want to be compassionate and I actually do something about it. I'm going to take your data, your feedback, your input, and I'm going to allow that to inform how I work with you. The third part is game theory. What if this happens? How can we all win? The fourth part is time.
Mm.
A certain time for things to launch something and the world isn't ready, it could fall flat. Just being very conscious of, are people even ready to receive?
Those four spaces are just a really great guideline for those entrepreneurs that are looking to do a reset for next year. Let's get to AI. You are a futurist and you have expanded your expertise in the field of AI. Given all of the roles you've played inside of organizational development and leadership, what would you say is the future of work and in particular, the future of small business ownership in the age of AI?
Do you know there is a quote? The quote that we usually hear is, "A jack of all trades is a master of none." But if you look at the original quote, it's, "A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one." I don't know who cut that out.
Really?
Yeah. So I had to look that up. I don't know who cut that out, but I feel like that was very indicative of the past several decades of where we are as workers, as entrepreneurs, right? So you look at it, you like, my parents, they had a job that lasted, until they retired,
Uh-huh.
30 years,
Yeah.
right? And so there was this pressure to be an expert. That quote is the future of where we're heading. I say that because with AI, there is no more career ladder. If you want to be successful, you can't just depend on one expertise. A great example of that is the influencer. That influencer created their own audience through TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. They developed filmmaking skills, production skills. They went into marketing and branding and even partnerships with other companies. Some influencers have a makeup line, a fashion line, partnerships with the gaming
Yeah,
industry
influencers are the new movie stars.
are the new movie stars. But they didn't do the career ladder. Instead, you have to jump from one completely different skill set to another, and you're constantly moving, and it's very fluid. You have to have that adaptability skill. And as you're moving around, being aware of your environment, it's empathy, compassion, critical thinking, the muscle to jump from one skill to the next. It's also being able to support other entrepreneurs on their journey. That's how you stay relevant. So I see that as changing our work, our labor market, changing entrepreneurs.
I want to pause us here for just a moment because if you're listening to this and nodding, you're probably someone who already knows how to work hard. What most founders don't know how to do, and were never taught, is how to slow down strategically, how to set a direction that actually feels aligned. That's the work I do inside the Inspired Growth Accelerator, and we'll be opening the next cohort in the new year. Not to help you do more busy work, but to help you move forward intentionally with clarity and peace of mind. Okay, let's come back to the conversation. We're at the end of the year, and this is when you want to be looking for what worked, what didn't work, and completing this year powerfully. Where should a entrepreneur be using AI to build their companies and legacies?
I want to start off by saying everyone should be using AI like ethically. Transparency is going to become the foundation of trust for your clients, for your consumers, for your customers. They're going to want to know, am I talking to a bot and am I being provided the best quality of service? Some things should be automated. What part of your company or job do you not love? Can you automate that? What's the risk of automating that? Maybe you just augment it. It's that back and forth, which includes critical thinking and innovation. It's adaptability, it's balance. Having that conversation of what do I not want to do? And what could level up the quality and value of my services to the world? And I would even go post-mortem. If that failed, what happened? What if this failed? What should I have done differently? Using AI as your thought partner.
What do you do, Leslie, to complete your year and prepare for the next year?
I love asking people at the end of the year, let's debrief. What did you think of this last year? I even do it during their birthdays.
Love
Give
it.
me
Yep.
any reason for reflection, and
Yep.
I will be right there. So at the end of the year, what do you think of 2025? And what are you planning for 2026? I try to have as many of those conversations as possible. Even with friends who are like, oh, no, not again. Like they want to talk about something else. Like, no.
You and I should just be besties that way. Like, if you need someone to have those conversations, I am always available. Seriously, call me at 10 at night and I'll have that conversation. My friends get tired of me talking about what's possible and, what's the future hold and what are you creating for your life, right? So, love that. Okay.
It's a normal ritual. Like I have to have those conversations and journal. I love a good journaling session. I go outside, stare out and just listen to the wind and just think of like, well, how is everything going? What do I want? So when it comes to the end of the year, it's always those questions, but there's also gratitude. So I'm always, as a part of that reflection, it's like, wow, what went amazing? And then what did not go so well, but I learned a great lesson. I think it's that reframing.
It is
Everything's a lesson.
reframing. A lot of times we avoid what we consider our failures, even though conceptually, you learn from your mistakes, but our brains don't process mistakes as opportunities for growth. Your brain wants to shut down and forget it happened. Look at where you didn't produce the result you were hoping to produce this year, or you didn't develop yourself the way you wanted to, and really pick it apart. Learn from it, and you'll grow. Don't give up. Believe in
Yeah,
yourself.
that's what I tell my kids. When something doesn't go the way you want, I don't care if you got a B. I care of what did you do after you found out you got the B. It's like
Yep.
getting back on the horse. It's dusting yourself off and saying, we'll do it again. I'll do something different.
All the people you see that are so accomplished in life, I've been in high performance consulting for over 2 decades. Top athletes are the biggest failures. They've made so many fails.
Yeah.
It's all practice.
Yes.
That's my latest thing. Life is just practicing. For 2026, Leslie, I plan my year every year. I've been doing that since 2004. I have a couple of people I plan my year with. Sometimes we have a big group, sometimes we have a little group, but it's always like 3 of us. And we create a whole context. For me, 2025 was being authentic, bold, radiant, and graceful. Authentic, bold, radiant grace was my year. I've launched my podcast, Bold, right? I've launched my new program. I have worked on my inner self even more so that I can be present and grounded and really radiate and grant grace.
Yeah.
So for you, I don't know what my next year is because I'm still creating, but maybe, do you know what future you're living into next year, Leslie?
It's going to be a continuation. I don't feel like I've mastered it yet. This year I grew and I'm happy with who I am. Next year, I want to see how good life can be. I want to be open to working with ideal clients, contracts, and partners. It's working with boundaries, high expectations of the people they work with, myself, and what I deserve. I think the hard part as an entrepreneur is, whoa, what do I really deserve? I deserve the best. And I'm going to stick by that. We'll see where it goes.
I just want to
There.
keep talking to you, and I could have so many different conversations with you. It's been lovely to meet you and get to know you a little bit better. I wish all of the most beautiful blessings for you in the coming year and the difference you're making in your community and the world. And I look forward to seeing what other impact you have.
And the same to you too. Maybe that is your annual end of the year podcast. Check in on all the things that happened this year and see where we are.
As you close out this year, I want to leave you with this. You don't need to be finished. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be honest about what worked, what didn't, and what you're ready to release. Growth doesn't come from perfection. It comes from reflection. And if this conversation stirred something in you, that's not an accident. It might be time to stop pushing and start living from intention and alignment. Go to the show notes and book an exploratory call with me to see if the Inspire Growth Accelerator is a fit for you and your life, so you can build from intention and peace rather than hustle and reaction. And if this conversation made a difference for you, please let me know by subscribing and writing a review. And most importantly, share this with someone that you think this message will touch right now. Welcome home. Welcome to the Inspired Entrepreneur.
I will become who I've always been.
And because I care about you and want to keep things above board, here's the quick legal bit. The Inspired Entrepreneur podcast and content posted by Deborah Hartnett is presented solely for general information, educational, and inspirational purposes. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast or website is at the user's own risk. It's not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional diagnosis or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay obtaining medical, mental health, legal, or business advice for any situation and should seek the assistance of qualified professionals for any such conditions or decisions.